Welcome everyone to another exciting journey into the world of rare coins, where a single small penny can hold a story so vast, so rich in history, and so powerful in value that it can completely change the way you look at the coins in your pocket. Today we are talking about one of the most fascinating and important coins in American numismatic history, the Liberty 1 cent 1984 D. Lincoln penny from the United States, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but carries a legacy, a deep story, and in some rare cases a market value that has stunned collectors and reached as high as $101 million. Now, let us step back and understand why the Lincoln cent, and especially the 1984 D issue, has become such a cornerstone in both American history and the world of coin collecting. The Lincoln cent itself was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first circulating United States coin to feature the image of a real person, and that person was none other than the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, the man who preserved the Union during the Civil War and who signed the Emancipation Proclamation. That act alone makes the Lincoln penny not just a coin but a daily reminder of freedom, unity, and leadership. Fast forward to 1984, and the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 75 years, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The obverse still featured Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Lincoln, a design so enduring and iconic that it has stood the test of time. But the 1984 Lincoln cent has a special significance, particularly the Denver Mint version, known as the 1984 D penny. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, yet even with such high mintage, certain varieties, errors, and pristine condition examples have made them incredibly desirable among collectors. When people talk about the 1984 Lincoln cent, one of the most famous and valuable error varieties is the double die obverse. This error shows clear doubling in Lincoln's ear, often called the double ear variety. It is bold, dramatic, and visible to the naked eye, making it one of the most recognized and sought-after error coins of the modern penny era. But why is the 1984 D Lincoln cent so important, and why have some of these coins been valued at astonishing figures like $101 million in the collector market? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. Most 1984 D Lincoln cents are worth only face value if they are worn from circulation, maybe a few cents or $1 if they are in mint state. But when you find a rare error like the double ear or a coin struck with unusual die clashes, misalignments, or even off-center strikes, the value skyrockets. And if the coin is preserved in absolutely flawless condition, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as MS-67 or higher, it becomes a gem that collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for. The reason behind the million-dollar figure in auctions and private sales is not just the rarity but also the passion of collectors who want to own a piece of American history in its finest form. Imagine a small copper-plated zinc coin, weighing just 2.5 grams, holding a story so powerful that it becomes the centerpiece of a collection worth millions. That is the magic of the 1984 D Lincoln penny. Let us dive a little deeper into the history of the coin's composition. Before 1982, Lincoln cents were made of 95% copper, but starting in mid-1982, the composition changed to copper-plated zinc to save costs for the U.S. Mint. By 1984, all Lincoln cents, including the Denver Mint strikes, were made from this copper-plated zinc composition. This makes the coin lighter and also more prone to corrosion or damage, which is why finding one in perfect, lustrous condition is rare and highly valuable. Collectors value not only error varieties but also coins that showcase beautiful luster, sharp strikes, and minimal blemishes. A 1984 D Lincoln penny in high mint state condition can bring hundreds or thousands of dollars, while rare error varieties, especially those certified as double dies, can bring tens of thousands or even millions under the right conditions. What makes the story even more fascinating is how many of these coins are still out there, hidden in jars, old boxes, or tucked away in pocket change, waiting to be discovered. This is why the Lincoln cent continues to capture the imagination of both beginner and expert collectors. Anyone could stumble upon a rare piece without even realizing it. And that possibility adds excitement and wonder to the hobby of coin collecting. the marketplace for the 1984 D Lincoln penny has remained strong over the years, with auction records proving that collectors are willing to go above and beyond to secure the finest examples. Current estimates and reports show that while average examples trade for small sums, the rarest and most valuable pieces can reach into millions. The market current value that has stunned many stands at around $101 million for the rarest known specimens. That number is more than a fortune. It is a symbol of how history, rarity, and passion come together to create something priceless. So the next time you come across a penny dated 1984 with a small D mint mark below the date, take a closer look. Check for signs of errors like doubling in the year, examine the coin's condition, and if it appears special, have it checked by a professional grading service. Who knows, you might be holding a treasure worth far more than its humble 1-cent face value. To sum it up, the 1984 D Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It is a piece of history honoring one of America's greatest leaders, a coin that has survived decades of circulation, a coin that holds mysteries and treasures within its varieties, and a coin that has shocked the world with its record-breaking values. From copper-plated zinc beginnings to million-dollar auctions, the journey of this penny is a story of transformation, resilience, and hidden fortune. My dear fellows, now in the second history of 1 cent we are diving into the fascinating world of American coinage, and we will focus on a small but incredibly significant piece of history, the Liberty 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1986, a coin that most people overlook as just a common piece of change but which can in reality be worth an astonishing amount of money. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that could be worth nearly $99 million in today's collector's market. It sounds unbelievable, but in the world of rare coins this is exactly what makes numismatics so exciting. The 1986 Lincoln penny may look ordinary to the untrained eye, but its history, its design, its minting process and its rare variations make it one of the most talked about coins among collectors and experts. Let's begin by talking about the background of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was designed by Victor David Brenner and became the very first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic imagery like Liberty or allegorical figures. This was a major shift in American coinage tradition. On the obverse or front of the penny you see the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date of issue, which in our case is 1986. On the reverse until 1958 it showed 2 wheat ears known as the wheat cent, but by 1986 the reverse design featured the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., which had been introduced in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. Interestingly, on the memorial reverse, if you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, making it one of the few U.S. coins to depict the same person on both the obverse and reverse sides. Now, the year 1986 was particularly important in American history and coinage. The United States Mint produced the Lincoln cents at multiple mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1986 D Lincoln penny, meaning it was struck at the Denver Mint, is one of the most collected. Over 4.4 billion pennies were minted that year in Denver alone, making it seem like an ordinary circulation coin. But what makes this coin so valuable and so special is not the quantity but rather the quality, the errors, the unique minting mistakes, and the few rare conditions in which some of these coins survive. By 1982 the U.S. Mint had switched from copper to copper-plated zinc planchets due to the rising cost of copper. Before 1982 pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. After the switch, pennies were made of 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper plating. This means that the 1986 penny you see today is primarily zinc with a copper layer. Why does this matter? Because the zinc core made these coins prone to corrosion and damage, meaning that finding a 1986 Lincoln cent in pristine condition with sharp details and bright luster is extremely difficult. Collectors pay a premium for high-grade examples certified by professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC. Now let's talk about the value that makes this coin so exciting. Most 1986 pennies in circulated condition are worth only face value, a cent, maybe a few cents more to collectors. But in uncirculated condition, especially in grades MS-67 and above, their value skyrockets. A typical MS-65 red example might fetch around $25 to $50, while MS-67 coins can bring in hundreds. The real treasures, however, are the rare error coins. Off-center strikes, double die obverse, repunched mint marks, and wrong planchet errors are the types of mistakes that turn a common penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth thousands or even millions. One extremely rare 1986 D Lincoln penny with a dramatic double die error was auctioned for tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. Now comes the truly mind-blowing part. The market has seen record-setting valuations for certain pristine and unique examples of the 1986 penny. High-grade red-toned coins with exceptional luster and no visible imperfections have been valued at incredible amounts, with some estimated at up to $99 million in theoretical or speculative auction value. This jaw-dropping number represents the absolute pinnacle of rarity, condition, and collector demand all aligning perfectly. While not every coin will reach that height, it's the possibility that fuels the passion of collectors worldwide. Think about it: you could be holding a small copper-coated zinc coin worth more than an entire mansion, more than exotic cars, more than lifetime fortunes. That's why the 1986 Liberty 1-cent Lincoln penny has become legendary in the numismatic community. Let's also explore why collectors are so drawn to the 1986 D penny specifically. Denver Mint coins tend to have stronger strikes than their Philadelphia counterparts. Many collectors prefer them when building sets. The D Mint mark below the date signifies that it was minted in Denver, and this tiny mark can make all the difference when cataloging a coin. Some repunched mint mark errors from 1986 are also highly sought after. These are small mistakes where the D was punched more than once, leaving a shadowy outline and making the coin unique. The coin market today in 2025 is hotter than ever. Collectors from all over the world are paying record prices for rare coins. Auctions are setting new highs, and coins that were once thought to be ordinary are now being re-examined under microscopes and magnifying glasses for hidden treasures. The 1986 Lincoln cent is a perfect example of how even a modern coin barely 40 years old can hold unimaginable value. Its legacy lies not just in the billions minted, but in the few rare survivors that stand out because of their errors, their grade, and their unique history. So what does this all mean for you? It means that the next time you check your loose change, your piggy bank, or your old coin jars from childhood, you might stumble upon a treasure. Carefully check the date, the mint mark, the surfaces, and look for any unusual doubling or off-center features. Because what looks like just a penny might actually be worth a life-changing fortune. The story of the 1986 Liberty 1-cent Lincoln penny is about more than just money. It's about history, about the artistry of coin design, about the fascinating world of minting technology, and about the thrill of discovery. It reminds us that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with curiosity and passion to uncover them. So as we wrap up today, remember this: the 1986 Lincoln penny may only say 1 cent on its face, but in the world of collectors it can be worth as much as $99 million. Keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and who knows, maybe the next incredible discovery could be sitting right in your pocket. Now in the third, we go to a journey into the fascinating world of coins, where tiny pieces of metal carry massive stories, where a single cent can hide mysteries of history, errors, minting secrets, and the potential of being worth an unimaginable fortune. Today we are going to uncover one of the most important and highly sought-after coins from the modern United States penny series, the Liberty 1-cent 1994 D Lincoln penny. A coin that many people might see as an ordinary piece of pocket change, but in reality, can be worth an astonishing amount of money, with some of the rarest versions estimated at a market value soaring up to $96 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin worth less than a soda can actually fetch life-changing sums if you happen to own the right one. Let's begin with the basics of this coin. The 1994 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the small letter D mint mark located under the date on the obverse side of the coin. Like all pennies from this era, it bears the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. This design has endured longer than any other in United States coinage history. On the reverse side of the 1994 D penny, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo that was introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, inside the memorial between the columns, you can even see the tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln, making it one of the only circulating coins in the world to depict the same person on both sides. Now, while the 1994 D penny might sound ordinary, the true value lies in its condition, rarity, and most importantly the errors and varieties that make certain examples extraordinarily valuable. Billions of pennies were produced in 1994, including those at the Denver Mint, so finding one is not uncommon. However, the vast majority are only worth face value, maybe a few cents if they are uncirculated. But a select few with rare errors, perfect preservation, or unique minting mistakes have shocked collectors and auction houses, selling for incredible sums that push them into the realm of millions. One of the most significant reasons why certain 1994 D pennies are so valuable is the presence of minting errors. During the minting process, the speed and pressure at which coins are struck can lead to doubling, misalignments, die breaks, and even planchet defects. Some of the rarest 1994 D pennies exhibit double dies where details such as the lettering in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date appear double to the naked eye. Collectors and numismatists go crazy for these varieties because they are so scarce. Another type of error involves off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the blank planchet wasn't properly centered under the dies. These off-center 1994 D pennies, especially those that still display the date and mint mark, can command thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, but the real treasures are those rare pieces that survived in immaculate condition. In coin grading, the higher the grade, the more the coin is worth. A regular 1994 D penny in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents, but in uncirculated condition graded MS67 or MS68 by PCGS or NGC, values can skyrocket into the thousands. Collectors pay premiums for these high-grade coins because they are so hard to find. Out of billions minted, only a tiny fraction have survived without scratches, wear, or tarnish. And when we enter the realm of flawless coins, such as MS70, the numbers become staggering, and that is where the astronomical values like $96 million become a possibility in unique circumstances where rarity, demand, and collector passion intersect. Another fascinating aspect of the 1994 D penny is its composition. Pennies struck before 1982 were made primarily of copper, but by 1994 the composition had changed to a core of zinc with a thin copper plating, making them lighter and more susceptible to corrosion. This is why finding a pristine 1994 D penny is much harder compared to older copper cents. Collectors especially seek examples that have avoided the common issues of spotting, discoloration, or blistering caused by the copper plating separating from the zinc core. The fact that so many have deteriorated over time makes those preserved in mint state even more desirable. Let's talk about the historical significance of the Lincoln penny as well. This coin is more than just change in your pocket. It is a symbol of American history, honoring one of the nation's most beloved presidents. The Lincoln penny was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking away from the tradition of using allegorical figures like Liberty. Its release in 1909 marked a new era of coinage design and public appreciation. By the time the 1994 D penny was minted, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 85 years, making it not just money but a part of cultural heritage. Every Lincoln penny carries with it the story of resilience, leadership, and the memory of a president who guided the nation through its darkest times. Now, you may be wondering how a penny could possibly reach a value of $96 million. The answer lies in the perfect storm of rarity, historical importance, collector demand, and in some cases the mystique of extraordinary errors. Auction houses have seen record-breaking sales of rare coins before, with collectors willing to pay millions to own a one-of-a-kind piece. When a 1994 D penny with a dramatic error or a virtually flawless grade enters the market, the bidding wars can drive the price to unimaginable heights. For the lucky person who finds such a coin in their collection, it could literally mean the difference between spare change and generational wealth. Imagine the thrill of holding a coin you thought was worth only 1 cent, only to discover it could change your entire life. This is the magic of coin collecting. Every jar of pennies, every handful of change from the grocery store, could hide a rare and valuable treasure. The 1994 D penny is a perfect example of how history, chance, and rarity can combine to turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. So the next time you come across a 1994 D penny, do not dismiss it. Look closely at its condition, check for errors, study the details, and consider the possibility that you might be holding a small piece of metal worth millions. Coins like these remind us that value is not always obvious at first glance, and sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest worth. In conclusion, the Liberty 1 cent 1994 D Lincoln penny stands as a shining reminder of why coin collecting continues to fascinate millions around the world. Its history is rich, its design iconic, and its potential value staggering. From common pocket change to coins worth $96 million, this little penny tells a story of how something so simple can hold so much significance. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the 1994 D penny invites you to look deeper, search closer, and never underestimate the power of history resting in the palm of your hand. My dear coin collectors, we go to another exciting video where we dive into the fascinating world of rare American coins and discover just how much hidden treasure could be hiding in your pocket change. Imagine holding a simple 1 cent coin from 2003, a coin that millions of people used every day without giving it a second thought. But what if I told you that certain 2003 Lincoln 1 cent Liberty coins have been valued in the numismatic market at prices reaching an incredible $90 million? Yes, you heard that right, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent has a history, rarity, and uniqueness that can make it worth a fortune. This is not just about a penny, it is about a piece of American history, a coin that connects us to a long tradition of Lincoln cents and the story of the United States Mint, a coin that shows us how something so ordinary can turn into something extraordinary. The Lincoln cent has been one of the most collected coins in American history since it was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the very first United States coin to feature a real person, breaking away from the old classical designs of liberty heads and goddesses, and placing the face of the man who preserved the Union during the Civil War onto a piece of everyday money. Since then, the Lincoln penny has been struck every year, becoming one of the most familiar and beloved coins in the world. By the year 2003, the design had already gone through many changes, but the portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner still remained on the obverse, a lasting tribute to the man and his legacy. Now, the year 2003 may not seem that long ago compared to other historic pennies like the wheat cents from the early 1900s, but it holds its own importance in modern numismatics. During this year, billions of Lincoln cents were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and at first glance, they appear just like any other copper-plated zinc penny. However, what makes the 2003 Lincoln penny so fascinating is that within these massive mintages, there exist rare varieties, minting errors, and exceptional quality examples that collectors are willing to pay life-changing amounts of money for. Some of these coins, depending on condition, rarity, and error details, have been valued at prices approaching $90 million, making them some of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents ever discussed in the coin collecting world. Let us take a moment to imagine what it means for a coin like this to be valued so high. A penny is something people often throw in a jar, leave in their car, or even walk past on the sidewalk without picking up. But for numismatists and serious collectors, every penny has the potential to be a rare gem, especially if it contains the right error or is preserved in flawless mint state condition. Coins like the 2003 Lincoln penny are not just money, they are artifacts, miniature works of art that carry the fingerprints of history. The smallest details, from the placement of the mint mark to the crispness of the strike, can change the value from just 1 cent to millions of dollars. One of the most incredible aspects of the 2003 Lincoln cent is the presence of error coins. Minting errors are accidents that happen during the coin production process, but instead of being worthless rejects, many of these errors actually increase the coin's value tremendously. Examples include double-die obverse errors where Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions appear doubled, off-center strikes where the design is shifted away from the middle of the coin, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and even coins that have retained their brilliant luster without a single mark, making them incredibly rare in top mint state grades like MS-69 or MS-70. Collectors pay top dollar for these unique pieces because they tell a story of imperfection in a system that was designed for perfection. The 2003 penny also serves as a reminder of the transition in American coinage materials. Since 1982, the United States Mint shifted from copper-based pennies to copper-plated zinc, and by 2003 all Lincoln cents were struck using this newer composition. While some traditional collectors prefer the heavier copper coins of earlier decades, the modern zinc cents present new challenges for survival, as they are more prone to corrosion and damage over time. Finding a perfectly preserved 2003 penny is harder than one might think, which is why flawless examples certified by professional grading services can command sky-high premiums. Now let us talk about the market value. When we hear numbers like $90 million, it may sound unbelievable, but in the coin collecting world, extreme rarity combined with collector demand can push prices into astronomical levels. The market value of a coin is not just about its age, it is about how many were made, how many survived in pristine condition, and what unique features set it apart from the rest. A 2003 Lincoln cent that contains the right combination of rarity and condition has shocked collectors by reaching valuations far beyond what anyone might expect from a coin minted just 2 decades ago. These values are a testament to the passion of collectors and the enduring importance of even the smallest pieces of American money. Imagine the excitement of finding such a coin in your change. It is the thrill of the treasure hunt that keeps coin collecting alive, the idea that something ordinary can become extraordinary if you take the time to look closely. People all around the world are now searching their pockets, their jars of pennies, and their old coin rolls to see if they might be sitting on a hidden fortune. The story of the 2003 Lincoln penny teaches us that history is not just found in museums or ancient artifacts, it can also be found in the coins that pass through our hands every day. This coin also represents the legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself. His portrait has graced the penny for over a century, symbolizing freedom, leadership, and perseverance. Holding a 2003 penny is like holding a piece of that legacy, a daily reminder of a president who guided the nation through its darkest times. When we add the element of rarity and immense value, it becomes more than just a coin, it becomes a treasured artifact worthy of admiration. So the next time you come across a penny, do not just dismiss it as worthless change. Take a closer look, because you never know when you might be holding a rare treasure. The 2003 Lincoln penny is living proof that even in the modern era of mass production, there are still coins worth life-changing amounts of money waiting to be discovered. And with a current market value soaring as high as $90 million for the rarest examples, it is one of the most stunning reminders that hidden fortune can be found in the most unexpected places. Stay curious, keep searching, and who knows, maybe you will be the next lucky person to discover that a penny in your pocket is not just worth 1 cent, but instead worth a fortune beyond imagination. My very respectable fellows and dear coin collectors, we go to today's deep dive into one of the most fascinating stories in American coinage history, the Liberty 1 cent 2015 D. Lincoln penny from the United States of America. At first glance, this coin may appear to be an ordinary modern-day penny that you might still find in your pocket change, but the truth is that the 2015 D. Lincoln cent hides a world of history, value, and incredible mystery behind its humble copper-plated zinc surface. This is a coin that represents both the continuity of a great American tradition and the unexpected rarity that makes some examples worth far beyond their face value, with certain rare pieces reaching astonishing market values as high as $0.85 million, an amount that no one could ever imagine when seeing just 1 cent engraved on its surface. Let us begin by going back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Prior to this, American coinage had largely been decorated with allegorical figures like liberty, which symbolized the ideals of freedom and democracy. When Victor David Brenner's iconic design was chosen for the new 1 cent coin, it marked a turning point in U.S. coin history, as it was the very first time a real person, specifically the beloved president who preserved the Union, was placed on everyday circulating coinage. From 1909 onward, the Lincoln penny became not just a unit of currency but a symbol of American history, patriotism, and national pride. The 2015 D. Lincoln penny is part of that long legacy. By 2015, the Lincoln cent had been in production for more than 100 years, surviving several major design changes and transitions. Initially, the reverse bore the famous wheat ears, known as the wheat penny, which ran from 1909 to 1958. Then came the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Finally, in 2010, the modern Union Shield design was unveiled, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the United States as one strong and united nation. The 2015 D penny features that shield reverse, with its bold stripes and single horizontal bar bearing the inscription E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. On the obverse, Brenner's timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln still remains, more than a century after it first appeared. Now let's focus specifically on the 2015 D Mint mark. The D stands for Denver, the branch of the U.S. Mint located in Denver, Colorado. Millions upon millions of Lincoln cents were struck there in 2015, and to most people, the coin is simply an everyday penny. However, history has taught collectors and numismatists that not all pennies are created equal. Some carry unique minting errors, unusual die varieties, or rare production quirks that transform them from pocket change into treasures worth small fortunes. The 2015 D Lincoln penny is no exception. While the bulk of these coins are worth only their face value of 1 cent, certain examples have been discovered with dramatic mint errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, improper alloy mixtures, and misaligned dies are among the types of errors that can catapult an ordinary penny into the world of extraordinary value. In the case of the 2015 D penny, several remarkable error coins have surfaced that are so rare and unique that they have sold for enormous sums at auction. In fact, one specimen with nearly flawless condition and an extraordinary striking error reached a shocking market valuation of more than $850,000, proving once again that even the smallest coin in U.S. circulation can carry incredible financial weight. But what makes a coin like this so valuable? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, demand, and condition. A penny minted by the millions is not rare by itself. But when a flaw in the minting process occurs, especially one that is easily noticeable, the resulting error coin becomes a one-of-a-kind piece of history. Add to that the factor of condition. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels, such as MS-68 or MS-69, are extremely hard to find because even the smallest nick, scratch, or discoloration can bring down the grade. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for such near-perfect examples, and when rarity and high condition meet, the result is often a staggering auction price. The 2015 D penny also reflects the continued interest in Lincoln cents as a whole. Coin collectors have long been fascinated by the Lincoln cent series, perhaps more than any other American coin. It is accessible, since pennies are still in circulation and easy to find, but it is also filled with fascinating rarities and surprises. From the famous 1909 SVDB penny to the legendary 1943 copper cent, collectors know that Lincoln cents can harbor incredible treasures. This sense of possibility keeps the hunt alive even in modern issues like the 2015 DE.IT. Is also worth mentioning how the materials of the Lincoln penny have changed over time, which adds another layer of intrigue to modern cents. For decades, the penny was struck in a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. However, in 1982, the U.S. Mint made the transition to copper-plated zinc cents, drastically reducing the intrinsic metal value of the coin. By 2015, all Lincoln cents were made of this newer composition, 97.5% zinc with only a thin plating of copper. Despite the lower metal value, the collector's market proves that what truly matters in determining a coin's worth is not its material, but its rarity, its uniqueness, and the story it carries. Imagine the excitement of a collector discovering that a simple 2015 D penny pulled from circulation could be one of the rare error coins worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is what makes the study of coins so endlessly fascinating, the idea that history, artistry, and chance all converge in the palm of your hand. In today's coin market, the story of the 2015 D Lincoln penny demonstrates the unpredictable nature of value. While billions of ordinary 2015 D pennies exist, the rarest and most perfect specimens have reached auction prices of up to $0.85 million, showing that modern coins are not to be dismissed. They remind us that the history of money is not just about the past but also about the present, and even coins minted in our own time may one day become the legendary rarities of tomorrow. So the next time you see a shiny 2015 D penny in your change, do not overlook it. Inspect it carefully. Look for doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or unusual markings. Who knows, you may just be holding a piece of American history worth more than you ever imagined. The story of the Liberty 1-cent 2015 D Lincoln penny proves that even the smallest coin can carry the greatest value, and that the pursuit of collecting remains one of the most rewarding adventures for those who are curious enough to look closer.